Hello student, welcome to my channel, that is soil and land management. Today we are going to discuss about the nitrogen transformation in the soil. Uh, Welcome to my another video, that is nitrogen transformation in the soil. We'll see we have in the last video we discussed about the nitrogen functions and deficiency symptoms. So how plant will uptake the nitrogen. So we'll see in the small introduction about the nitrogen. So plant will uptake the nitrogen in two forms. One is cation and another is anion form. So cation form, that is NH4 plus, and anion form, that is NH3 minus form. So most of the plants will take the nitrogen in a nitrate form, which is dominant as compared to NH4 forms. So some plants will take the both forms of nitrogen. One is NH4 and NO3. That crops like potato, sugar beet, pineapple, they will prefer both forms. And some crops they will prefer only nitrate, that is the tomatoes. And some crops will prefer only the NH4, that is the rice, tea, like that, blueberries. They will compulsory they will prefer only NH4. So most of the crop they will uptake the nitrate nitrate nitrogen in nitrate and NH4 form in 75 as to 25 ratio, means maximum amount of nitrogen plant will uptake in a nitrate form as compared to the NH4 form. So but some crops there they will uptake the nitrogen mostly or 100% NH4 form. That crops like a rice, jute, and tea, they will take a nitrogen NH4 form. So how nitrogen will comes into the soil? That one we'll see through the nitrogen cycle. So we know that in the atmosphere nearly 78% of nitrogen present in N2 form. So that nitrogen, so how nitrogen will enter into soil? So the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, will enter in the soil by biological nitrogen fixation. That one we will see in detail in this video. And another process through which nitrogen will enter into soil, that is the industrial nitrogen fixation. We will call the process that Haber-Bosch process. Through that we will prepare the fertilizer, nitrogenous fertilizers. Then another way, another way, that is lightning, that is a natural fixation. So through this also nitrogen will get into the soil. The most important is the biological nitrogen fixation. Through biological nitrogen fixation, plant will fix the nitrogen in the nodules. Okay, after that the nitrogen present in organic form, then organic form of nitrogen will get mineralized into the ammonification, then ammonia, then nitrification will occur. So the nitrogen will present in NH4 NO3 form, that is depends on the mineralization process. So when it will convert into NH4 NO3 form, some part of the nitrate will get leached and some part of the NH4 plant will uptake, and some part of the nitrogen will get denitrified, and some part of the nitrogen will get immobilized also. And after that some parts of the nitrogen plants will microbes will feed because of that immobilization occurs. So that nitrogen present in the plant the microbes bodies, and so because of some nitrogen will is they denitrify the nitrogen, some bacteria will go into the atmosphere. This is the cycle of the nitrogens. So we will have to see the stepwise how the soil how the nitrogen will added into the soil. So first we'll start from the nitrogen mineralizations. So we know that the plant will uptake the nitrogen from the atmospheric nitrogen will stored in the plant in organic and inorganic form. So that nitrogen when the plant will get died, or the when the crop receive present in the soil, in that organic matter or organic nitrogen will present. So the plant will not uptake the organic form of nitrogen. We know that the plant will uptake the nitrogen in NH4 and NO3 form. But after the harvesting the water, the crop residue will be there. In that crop residue, the nitrate or the organic nitrogen present in protein, amino acid, nucleic acid, and some other forms. So that nitrogen should be released into inorganic form. That process is called the mineralization. So mineralization is the process in which organic form of nitrogen which is present in the soil will convert into the inorganic form, mostly NH4 or then to NO3 by the activities of microbes. So we'll see the stepwise how the organic form of nitrogen in the soil converted into the inorganic form. That's called the mineralization. So organic form of nitrogen present in a dead plants, animal residue, manures, and organic microbial biomass. That nitrogen will on that decomposition will occur. Means the microbes will attack like bacteria, fungi, will decompose the organic matter and release the ammonia. That process is called ammonification. Then the ammonification will occur. After that, the release of ammonia will be there in soil. So the ammonia will react with the water to form the ammonium ion. The next process is the formation of ammonia. That will happen when the ammonia will react with the water, and that release ammonia plant will uptake or may it further convert into nitrification process into the nitrate, or it will get fixed into the soil. What are the crop residues there? We can see this crop residue will have the organic nitrogen with the help of microbes like bacteria, fungi, acromyces will convert to ammonia and then ammonium, then plant will uptake. So key point here, the process will carry out by the heterotrophic bacteria. So this mineralization process is carried by the heterotrophic bacteria. You know that the soil will have two types of bacteria, heterotrophics and autotrophics. So this process will bring out by the heterotrophic bacteria. So finally, this process will bring out by the heterotrophic microbes. That bacteria, fungi, actinomyces will be there. So fungi is the heterotrophic, actinomyces also heterotrophic. So bacteria will have the two groups. One is the heterotrophics, another is the autotrophics. Heterotrophic bacteria means those bacteria which take the carbon as a source of a food through the organic matter, and autotrophic bacteria which take the carbon from the CO2, and the fast growth will be the heterotrophic bacteria. So the higher the heterotrophic bacteria, more the mineralization will occur. And this is the first steps of the nitrogen cycle, formation of the NH4. Now, what are the factors responsible for this process? So to bring out the mineralization or to bring out the fast mineralization, so what process will occur or how to increase the process? The first one is the aeration. So aeration is good, means the microbial activities will be more, so the aeration will occur. Second will be the microbes activities. Higher the microbial activity, higher the mineralization rate. Third one, the temperature. If the temperature is increased by the 10 degrees centigrade, you know that the reaction will increase, or then the temperature. So if the temperature increase by 10 degrees centigrade, the mineralization rate will increase 2 to 3 times. Then other than that, the most important factor that is required for the mineralization process is the cn ratio. Cn ratio is the carbon and nitrogen ratio. If the cn ratio is less than 20:1, then only mineralization will occur. Otherwise the mineralization is not possible. It will take a lot of time. So what is the fate of the ammonium which is in the soil? First, it will get converted into the nitrate form through the nitrification process, and other things will happen. That is the uptake of nitrogen, uptake of the plant, and third one is the it utilized by the heterotrophic organism in further decompose the organic crop residue, because the microbes also require the nitrogen for the growth and development purpose. For that, they will take that nitrogen for decomposing the further organic matter. Then it may be fixed in a biologically unavailable form in the lattice of the clay minerals, or it could be released back into atmosphere through the volatilization process. So that much it can be happen. So next one is the what is ammonia volatilization. This is the how it will occur. So ammonia volatilization is the process by which ammonium gas, that is NH3, will get lost into the atmosphere from the soil, or it also maybe from the water surface. This one usually happen with the nitrogen fertilizer like urea when you apply to the soil. The key factor for the ammonia volatilization, that is the pH. If the pH is more than 8.5, then the volatilization will occur, and the temperature is high, then the kinetic energy will increase, and the volatilization, that is called it will go into the atmosphere in NH3 form. If the wind is high with high temperature in arid and semi-arid region, this is possible. So there also the ammonia volatilization is more. And next one is the if you will apply the fertilizers on the surface without incorporation, that time also the ammonia volatilization will occur. Yeah, another factor because of that ammonia volatilization increase, that is the low moisture. Suppose the high temperature wind, high wind, and the pH is more than nearly 8.5. and there is no temperature, so the ammonia volatilization is 100% possible. And whatever the it will happen, that is because of low temperature also. So mostly this ammonia volatilization is possible with the NH4 fertilizers, like the ammonium fertilizer, like ammonium sulfate. When you will add these types of fertilizers in a high pH, that is more than 8.5 pH, that time it is also possible. And when you will apply the urea in acidic soil, when urea will apply in acidic soil, so ammonia volatilization in acidic soil also possible when you apply urea, because when ammonia will hydrolyze into the ammonium carbonate, it will increase the pH about the surrounding urea. So that one also, because of that process also, ammonia volatilization will occur through the urea also. So in that condition we have to maintain the moisture, so the ammonia volatilization should not occur. Then next procedure, this is the ammonium fixation. Ammonium fixation is the occur on the high cation exchange capacity soil, like the black soil, which contain 2s1 types of minerals. So ammonium fixation is the conversion of soluble form or available form of NH4 into unavailable form to the plant. This is mostly occur in the soil which have the high clay content, and especially in the vermiculite and montamolite and mica types of the clay minerals. So mostly it is found in a black types of the soil. So why it is happening, why the ammonia fixation will happen? We know that the clay minerals classification, that is 1s1, 2s1 and 2s2. 1s1 clay mineral means the one silica layer, another one the aluminum layer, that is the 1s2 clay minerals. And 2s2 1 is the two silica layers, and middle one will be the aluminum layer, and 2s2 is the two silica layer, one is the aluminum and one other is the magnesium layer will be there. So this ammonium fixation is occur in the 2s1 minerals, mostly in the vermiculite and smectite and illite. So these three minerals possible for the ammonium fixation. So because if you see this figure, this is the clay particle, right? So in this clay particle, we'll have the negative charge around the surface, and there are three types of the phases will be present on the soil surface. One is this one, that is called P phase, P planar, that is called the surface planar. One is the E planar, that is E, that is edge planar, and middle one is the I, that is I planar, means inside. Okay, so what will happen is when you will add the fertilizer, that fertilizer concentration more in the soil solution, and it will get adsorbed on the soil surface. So some part of the NH4 will adsorb on the P position, some part will be the E position, and some part will be the I position, right? So high position absorption means occur between the silicate layer and aluminum layers. Okay, when you will get enter into this layer, then it will get absorbed there, so it will not come outside. So how this one will happen? We know that 1s1 2s1 mineral, this is the one silica layer, this is aluminum layer, and this is the another silica layer. So between this there is a H bond, between this H bond. So like this another lattice will be there. This is silica, this is aluminum layer, and again this is also the silica layer, right? So between this there is a OH bond, right? And so between the within a lattice there is H bond, and between the lattice there is a OH bond. So this OH bond will allow only the NH4 and K, because the opening of this opening of this hole, or the opening of the space, and the size of this space is nearly 2.68 Armstrong, or 2.8 Armstrong. Okay, and if you see the size of NH4, this is 2.84 Armstrong, which is nearly the size of the hole, and that's why it will go inside. When the when the water will get removed because of the evaporation, and these two lattice will come to close, because of the inside also some tilting will occur, and NH4 will get fixed. So because of this process it will not come outside. and also this is will not become unavailable. So this form of nitrogen is called non-exchangeable form of the NH4. Okay, see here, the NH4 present on the soil surface, it will enter between the space. So between the space will enter because the space size will be 0.8 angstrom, and the size of the NH4, that is 2.84 angstrom. Only the size which is nearby size cations only will enter. Then when it get enter, it will not come outside. This is a fixed form, and it will not become available to the plants also. When it will become available, the exchangeable form of the potassium, exchangeable form of the NH4 constant will reduce, then only this form will be available. Okay, this is the ammonia fixation, which mostly occur in a clay soil like black soil. And which types of the clay mineral is responsible? That is the vermiculite, next is illite, and followed by the montagolite. Because of this one, the three elements present, and if you add NH4 fertilizer, then the fixation will occur, and this fixed form of NH4 will not be available to the plant. Okay, and mostly it will occur also because of alternate drying and wetting condition. So because of which competitive ions, this one will not, fixation will not occur. Okay, it will not occur when the concentration of calcium magnesium is more. That time the fixation will not occur, right? That time fixation will not occur. So this is the ammonia fixation. So what factor will affect the ammonia fixation? One is the types and amount of clay. So more the amount of clay, more the NH4 present on the H plus, more the amount of present on the soil surface. So first it present soil solution form, second will be present in exchangeable form, and third one is the non-exchangeable form. Then the moisture content, higher the moisture, higher the fixation. So alternate wetting drain is will increase the fixation rate. Amount of K, the more the K is there, the fixation rate will reduce, because these are the what we can say, it is the competitive ion for each other. More the potassium ion, then fixation of NH4 will be less. Then depth of the soil, so fixation will increase with increase in depth, because the surface contact with the NH4 will increase, so the fixation will get increased. Organic content, organic matter, more the organic matter, the fixation will get reduced, because organic matter will get decomposed and will increase H plus and concentration. When the H plus and concentration will increase, then H plus will be the competitive ion for NH4, so the fixation will get reduced. And population of nitrifying bacteria, if the population of nitrifying bacteria will increase, then NH4 will get converted into the NO3 form, so the fixation we can reduce. The next process or next thing will happen, that is nitrifications. This is the second step in the mineralization. First one is the formation of NH4, that is ammonification, and second is the nitrification. So nitrification is the conversion of NH4, which is released by the ammonification process, into the nitrate by the nitrification bacteria. So it will carry out by those two steps. One is the first will convert into nitrate form, another one is convert to nitrate form. So this one will carry out by the autotrophic bacteria. Okay, up to ammonification, the process will carry out by the heterotrophic bacteria, and after this nitrification will carry out by the autotrophic bacteria, means it will take the CO carbon from the CO2. So this is the NH4 will get oxidized, will form the NO2, this nitrate, by the nitrosomonas bacteria. And then the NO2 will convert to NH3 through the oxidation process, that will done by the nitrobacter. And which factor is responsible for the nitrification, or because of which factor we should consider so the nitrification rate will get increased? The first one is the source, that is NH4. So more the mineralization or the more the formation ammonification, the nitrification rate will get increased. So the source is important. Then the population of the nitrifying bacteria. If the more the organic matter, more the nitrifying bacteria will be present, so the nitrification will get increased. Then a pH, we know that in a neutral pH bacteria will be present, and their population also will be more. So the nitrification rate is more between 5.5 to up to 8 pH. So if the pH less than 5.5 or more than 8, then the population will get reduced, so the nitrification rate will get decreased. Then the soil aeration, if the oxygen content is nearly more than 25%, then the nitrification rate is more. minimum nitrogen than oxygen should be the 10%, maximum will be more than 10. If the oxygen content will get reduced, so nitrification will not occur. In that condition, CO2 will be more, so other process will get activated. So the aeration is very important. So field capacity is the best condition for the nitrification. Then the moisture, so moisture like 50% moisture and 50% uh, aeration, that is the base condition for the nitrification, because oxygen also important for the survival of the organism. Then the temperature, if the temperature will increase by the 10 degrees centigrade, the nitrification rate will get also increased. So optimum temperature for the highest rate of nitrogen fixation, that will be the 30 degrees centigrade. So 30 to 35 degrees, in that rate nitrification rate is very high. And more than 35 degrees centigrade means, so the nitrification rate will get reduced slowly. Then the CN ratio, so higher CN ratio will reduce the nitrification, because higher CN ratio means water the NH4 will present through the mineralization. That one microbes will take for the growth and development purpose. So the quantity of NH4 will get reduced and the nitrification rate will get also reduced. Then the pesticides. So pesticides is harmful for the bacteria. If the pesticide content will increase, the microbes will get died. And heavy metal also, if the heavy metal contains more, so nitrification get reduced, will get reduced, because of the soil will become the biologically sick, or the soil respiration will get reduced, and oxygen content also will get reduced, so that the pesticides and heavy metal will reduce the nitrification. Next one is, if the nitrate is formed, then how it will the reaction in the soil. When nitrate will form by the nitrifying bacteria, the first one is the plant will uptake. Second one is the microbes will take uptake for the mineralization of the nitrogen from high CN ratio crop residue. Then it may be lost through the leaching process, because it have high solubility. Nearly 90% of the nitrogen losses through the leaching process only. Then sometimes it will get denitrify, means the reverse process of nitrification, that is a denitrification. This is happening when the oxygen content is less. So this thing will happen with the nitrate. Next one is the leaching losses of the nitrate. Nearly 2 to 50% of applied nitrogen will get lost. Okay, so more than 90% of nitrogen which is present in nitrate form will get lost through the leaching process, right? So because the anion exchange capacity of soil is less compared to cation exchange capacity, and that nitrate will present always in the soil solution form, so that it will get leached through the it will get leached out from the soil. Then how we have to reduce the loss of nitrogen through the leaching process? First one, we have to increase the water holding capacity of soil, so the infiltration rate or the holding capacity leaching will get reduced. Split application of nitrogen, if you apply the split application, not in the single or basis layers of nitrogen, we have to go for split application, 50% application of the basal, 25% the drop dressing, and second drop dressing 25. So the how much plant required it will take, when it again deposits in the soil, we have to again give the second dose. Suppose if we apply the 100% nitrogen and the heavy rainfall will come, so loss of nitrogen through the leaching is very high. Then we have to go the control irrigation, because water is the main source for the leaching. If you go the flooded irrigation, the more nitrogen losses will occur through the leaching. So better to try for the drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, or control the flow of the irrigation. Then the nitrification inhibitors, suppose if you use the nitrification inhibitor fertilizers like NSAW, so they will avoid the conversion of the NH4 into the NO3, so it will convert into the up to NH4. So it will be in the NH4, plant will that NH4 will absorb it on the soil, so will not get converted into NO3 forms, and will not get leached out. Okay, so it will convert the nitrogen up to the NH4, so it will not get leached out, so loss will not occur. Then the slow release fertilizer like the neem coated fertilizer, there they will release the slowly nitrogen from the urea, and convert into NH4 and NO3. So how much plant require NO3, that much it will take. So excess amount also will not get released. So it will release also the small amount of nitrogen will get lost through the leaching. So nitrogen inhibitors or slow release fertilizer It's very effective fertilizer for reduce the loss of nitrogen through the leaching process. Then the another process, that is a denitrification. So denitrification is a reverse process to the nitrification, which is occur mostly in the anaerobic condition. So that process will occur in the anaerobic condition and will be carried out by the facultative anaerobic bacteria. Facultative anaerobic bacteria means those bacteria which are the aerobic in nature, but anaerobic condition they will survive on the aerobic compounds. So those bacteria are the Pseudomonas, Bacillus, and denitrificans and Sphaerococcus, which is responsible for this. Also, some autotrophic bacteria. These are the heterotrophic bacteria like Pseudomonas, Bacillus, denitrificans, and Sphaerococcus. This is the heterotrophic bacteria. Autotrophic bacteria like the Theobacillus denitrificans, which bring out the denitrification. So what happen in the aerobic condition? So what are the nitrate will be present? So from that nitrate, this bacteria will take the oxygen for the survival purpose, and this nitrate will convert into first the nitrate form, then this NO form, N2O form, and N2 form. So N2O and N2 it will get go into the atmosphere. So this is the most harmful component in greenhouse gas emission. Then nitrogen immobilization. Nitrogen immobilization is a reverse process of mineralization. It will occur in the soil when the CN ratio is more than 30 as to 1, because microbes require the nitrogen for growth and developments. In such cases, if the CN ratio of the crop residue is more than 30 as to 1, so the nitrogen content will be less in the crop residue, and so the less amount of microbes will be available for the mineralization. In such condition, so what microbes will do? They will take the nitrogen from the soil for the mineralization process, but the immobilization will continue because the CN ratio will be the high. But for the growth and development, microbes will take the nitrogen from the soil for the growth and development. When the CN ratio of the crop residue will be less than 20 as to 1, then mineralization will start. Okay, and this immobilization process will be occur in the high cereals where the CN ratio will be nearly 70 to 100 as to 1. Okay, so the immobilization is the conversion of the inorganic form of nitrogen in the organic form, and this is possible when the crop residue CN ratio is more than 30 as to 1, and the inorganic form of nitrogen, that one microbes will take and convert into the organic form in the microbes body in microbial biomass. So plant will not do this process. Okay, this one will happen. Why? Because the nitrogen content in the crop residue is less. For the growth and development purpose, it requires the nitrogen. That nitrogen the microbes will take from the soil for the development purpose and decomposition of the carbon also. Okay, then the nitrogen fixation. This is a biological nitrogen fixation. So biological nitrogen fixation means the conversion of the atmospheric nitrogen into the NH4 form. So this is called the biological nitrogen fixation. It will occur with the help of microbes. So if you see in the world, nearly 140 to 170 million tons nitrogen per year it will get absorbed by the biological nitrogen fixation. When if you through the fertilizer, we will produce nearly 65 million tons nitrogen per year. This is the steps of biological nitrogen fixation in legume crops. First, the plants will release the flavonoids, that is the root exudates, and bacteria will attract it toward the roots, and rhizome bacteria will attack on the root hair, and this when it will attack the root hair, it will curve. Okay, and then bacteria is multiply enter the root hair. Okay, and form the infection thread inside the roots. So and release the release the auxins, will do the cell division and form the like the structure that nodules. Inside nodules, the bacteria will take another form that is called bacteroids. So these bacteroids will do the nitrogen fixation. So nitrogenous enzyme which is responsible for the nitrogen fixation will convert the N2 form into the NH3 form. So it will require 16 ATP right? And a hydrogen and 8 electron. This is the active form of nitrogen. This is the bacterioid form. So this is the ammonia assimilation, and it comes to the amino acid with the help of the plant enzyme. So this ammonia will convert the ammonia acid, and this ammonia acid will be helpful for the protein formation. The key point is the here the leg hemoglobin, which is the required for to maintain the oxygen content in this zone for the nodule in the nodules, so that the nitrogenous activity will maintain. If the oxygen contains more, nitrogenous will not release. This enzyme will not produce, and this enzyme is responsible for the nitrogen fixation. So the for nitrogen fixation efficiency will increase in a low oxygen content, and leg hemoglobin, if you leg hemoglobin will do this work. In the leg hemoglobin will release, we have the nodules will get the pink color. It indicates that nitrogen fixation process is going on. Okay, so leg hemoglobin required to absorb the oxygen from these nodules, so that the nitrogenous activity more. Okay, then different classes will be the nitrogen fixation groups will be there. One group is the symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Symbiotic nitrogen fixation, there is a mutual understanding between the two partners. One is the bacteria and another one is the plant. So in that we will see the one that is the example, the rhizobium and legume symbiosis. In the rhizobium will infect the roots, which move into the root cortex and form the nodules. Okay, is the nodules, it will form the nodules in the legumes. So plant will give the carbohydrates, and rhizobium bacteria will give the nitrogen to the plants. So Sesbia rostrata form the nodules and stem and roots both. Okay, so rhizobium species will infect on the legumes specially and form the nodules. So other symbiosis non-legume formation. This is also mutual understanding, but with the non-legume plants. So is there actinomites will be doing the this symbiosis interaction. So actinomites frankia form the symbiosis nitrogen fixation with the forage crop belong to the family Casuarina myraceae. Another example is the symbiosis. Symbiotic example is the Anabae azona symbiosis is the another example. Azolla is the fresh water form which found in the floating surface of the water. So all the pieces of azolla which have the algal symbioton like Anabae azuli, which is have a specific cavity for like heterosis in the nitrogen fixation will occur. It will fix nitrogen up to 30 to 40 kg per hectare. A non-specific or non-symbiotic interaction for nitrogen fixation, that is that one will do by the rhizospirillum. This is called the associated nitrogen fixation. Here the nodules will not get formed, and the nitrogen fixation will be nearly 30 to 40 kg per hectare. In the free living nitrogen fixation, which is done by the azotobacters, here the free living, they are not associated with the plant roots, so they are free, and they will fix nearly 10 to 15 kg per hectare nitrogen. Then what is the requirement of biological nitrogen fixation? One is the nitrogen enzymes. Okay, then on the strong reducing agent electron and low oxygen contents, that will do by the leg hemoglobin, and the reduced condition, that reduced condition will occur due to the dehydrogenous hydrogenous enzyme, that is also important. So this is a cross inoculation group. Cross inoculation group means a set of legume species that can be nodulated to the same species or strains of rhizomes. So these are the groups. Across the group, cover group is there, alpha alpha group is there, pea group there, bean group is there, soybean group, bean groups, chickpea and groundnuts. So in that, which example plants are there? To that plant only one specific rhizobium species will attack. Okay. So this is a modern classification. In that, fast growing rhizobium and slow growing rhizobium species will be there. Fast growing, that is rhizobium, then a cynorhizobium and mesorhizobium. Slow growing, the bradyrhizobium and azorhizobium will be there. So rhizobium will attack on pea, lentil, bean. Cynorhizobium will attack on lucerne. And mesorhizobium will attack on chickpea, lotus. So like that. Okay. So this is the about the nitrogen transformation in the soil. So through these processes, organic form of nitrogen will convert into the inorganic form. The first process will be the mineralization. In that, ammonification will occur. The second one is the nitrification, and some nitrogen loss process also be there, like the leaching. Because of the nitrogen will get lost, ammonia volatilization, ammonium fixation, and denitrification. This because of this process, nitrogen will get lost, and because this process is responsible for the low nitrogen use efficiency in the plants. So we will discuss detail about the low nitrogen use efficiency in the plant. So why it's happening, how to control. Please see my next video to get the detailed information about the nitrogen. Thank you and watch this video. Please subscribe and like.